Alright. My Righteous Fire build is pretty much capped out. If I want to upgrade this anymore, it's going to get into the multiple divine section. And so far, none of this gear is expensive. I think this one was 50C. This one was 50C. And I got this for 10C and then manually 6-linked it like a jabrownie. This was nothing. Like 1C. This I think was 10C, and these are I think 20C, and I don't need to use this. I usually use the other boots, but T16 farming, I really like this, and I'm using Anomalous Body Swap with Ignite Proliferation and Combustion with Life Tap. Life Tap pumps up the Righteous Fire damage for the Life Tap there, so I just body swap around in the T16 land and get it done. But to upgrade this, it gets kind of awkward because I have this chest piece, so I don't want to upgrade a piece of gear that doesn't have a life slot because it kind of pigeonholes you into using this chest piece. Once you start using this chest piece, all the gear upgrades you get don't have life modifiers on them, so this is kind of a trap in that regard. But I think I'm done with the Righteous Fire build. I might throw on some traps so I can do some Maven, and I got I need 2 more Watchstones. I got to do Uber Elder and Maven. But I haven't really been focusing too much on running either of those. So I will run those in a bit. I wanted to use some Sex. And I'm just going to run some T16. I'll do a quick skill tree look, but I'll paste my POB. I accidentally go in portals all the time. Alright. Oh yeah, I wanted to refund that regen node. I ran into an enemy with regen that I wanted to kill and needed to do so. But I don't need that on the reg. Let's just pop that there. Alright, the base damage of my Righteous Fire is 423,000. I have no clue what that actually calculates to, but it's probably like 800,000 damage over time with that negative 20 fire resistance multiplier. I'm swinging up this way simply because it's more beneficial than going down this way because I can grab these nodes here. So it's a battle of what nodes do you want to grab, these bad boys or these bad boys, and I don't need these ones anymore, so I path back up this way. It kind of saddens me to miss out this delicious block here because these are all really good nodes, but I don't need physical in this build. And this node are basically both about equally trash. It's 16 armor, it's 20 armor versus 16 melee damage. And that melee damage doesn't apply to me, so it's just a loss of 20 flat armor going down versus up. So up is better in this instance. And I don't really like going over this way either. Now that they reduced these to 5% from 6%, which they did a while ago, or they upped these to 6%, I can't remember which one happened. I think they upped these to 6, and these have always been 5. But now that these are 6, it's more beneficial to grab these 2 than try to fill out this whole slot. So I don't even usually like going into this area here. And for 4 points, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and grab this guy, and then do 2 more to grab this guy, because this is a better life node than that. So this is a much better pathway to go. But this one has 2 strength selections, and this one only has 1. So I went this way, and I only have 4 points left over. But once I level up 2 more times, I'll redesign it to go this way. I like cutting through here and grabbing this stuff. And then the 10% chance to ignite is also extremely powerful because I don't know what my ignite chance is for body swap. Let me look at my body swap. Body swap. Offense. Chance to ignite. Only 60% chance to ignite. So I gotta hit twice with body swap to get a good ignite on and then prolif on people. Let's go ahead and do the run-ins. Oh, I didn't even finish. It's freaking spaz. So my cluster jewels are all pretty boring. Just triple fire nodes. Nothing really synergizing. I made sure I got 1 of these ones so I can cover in ash and then cannot be chilled while burning, and I'm always burning. So one of those is nice. Maybe I should grab a second in order to give it a 10% chance to cover in ash. But I only cover big boys in ash. And I grabbed one of these, 8% additional physical damage reduction while affected by determination, and unaffected by poison while affected by malevolence. Now this was only 50C, I guess no one wanted this. It seems okay to me, but it doesn't add damage, so if it's not adding damage, a lot of people don't want it. Obviously, instead of being unaffected by poison, I could have done the damage multi on Malevolence, but those were very expensive. Some basic jewels. This one's just recoup. Actually, let's try our luck right now. Do I have an exalted orb? Yeah, let's try our luck. Oh, juicy. The divine change, that when they made divines the big boy instead of exalted orbs, makes me use exalted orbs all the time. I get joyous moments like this. It is so nice to hit a no need with an exalted orb. I love exalted orbs now that I actually get to use them. So that one's pretty good. This one's pretty good. My jewels are pretty strong. Recoup, burning, life, cannot be inflicted with corrupting blood. And this is my pride and joy right here. Perfect roll across the board. 8 fire damage multi, 6% life recoup, 16 fire, 7 life. I rogged this bad boy right here. Oh yeah. I think I'm probably like 3 divines in on this build. Most of it has been the cluster jewels. I had to buy, I think, this cluster jewel for a divine. And then I bought a bunch of fusings to 6-link that body armor. So I'm somewhere between 3 and 4 divines on this build, which isn't that much. But it's not going to be able to do bosses. Maven is going to be a problem. If you got a lot of skill and you can manage the Maven fight, you'll be fine. But once the Maven gets into her final phase, I can't keep track of the degen beams and her memory game at the same time. It's just not something I can do. And once you get hit with the degen beam on a Righteous Fire build, you're basically donezo. So you have to be immaculate in your avoidance of the degen beams and have the ability and speed to remember her game. And if I were to fight her, I would lose. I haven't fought her yet. I would definitely lose. There's no doubt about it. And I would probably use these boots against her, the replica stampedes, because it reduces a lot of her cooldown, I think. But mostly I'm gonna save up and buy the Juggernaut's Unstoppable node, so I can't be frozen and shit. Get Unstoppable plus the Stampede boots. I think it's gonna be a pretty good combo to make it so I don't get stuck anywhere. And for her memory game, there's always that slow dot on the ground that slows me down, so I can't go to her specific locations quick enough on the memory game. That's why the Trickster is my favorite class in terms of like playability. Obviously, you're not going to get the most damage with the Trickster, but fighting Maven as a Trickster, nothing slows you down, and you zoom around. It's pretty awesome. Pretty spectacular. Now I could go Blood Notch. Oh, Chaos damage. Let's see if there's anything special with this bad boy. Nope. I could go Blood Notch tech, but I think Blood Notch is probably too expensive. Maybe it'll cheapen out. But I don't really need the Blood Notch. Anytime I die, it's mostly from single hits anyways. So I'm not exactly sure what value the Blood Notch will provide me. I used to get into a little bit of trouble with a lot of little hits. But with the Replica Stampede boots on, movement speed flasks don't work, so I put this Evasion Flask on. And with that Evasion Flask, it gives me like 27% chance to evade, and then I can blind enemies with elemental skills. So it can get some pretty good evasion. That plus block. When I get surrounded by a bunch of little enemies, I'm blocking and evading enough of their attacks that my regen is able to kick in. So that's not that big of a deal to not have Blood Notch. Now, if I had Blood Notch, obviously I'd be way more tanky. But it seems like a waste. I'm going to go through without Righteous Fire on just so you can see body swaps damage. Body swaps damage in the Replica Stampede boots, which have 80% more travel skill damage. So I could totally just body swap around and be pretty effective. Don't even need Righteous Fire, so if I just wanted to go super tank, And just body swap around. And just make Righteous Fire optional. So if there is like a degen map, I could probably do body swap builds. And I think I have elemental damage has leached his life. But I don't think I'm doing enough flat damage to make that extremely powerful. It's mostly damage over time, so I gotta hit with ignites. And that's not gonna help my leech. But it kind of feels like a Flicker Strike build. Just body swap into him. Like Flicker Strike, but without the motion sickness. Because a single dash doesn't give me motion sickness, but when you put multi-strike on Flicker Strike, oh man, I'll be throwing up in an hour. It's a fun build. Just dash in there and explode on them. Obviously, I had the other boots. You'd get those little explosion rings that are kind of cool too. I mean, I do have those other boots, but I'm using Replica Stampede for the moment. Did I kill the boss? Yeah, I think I... No, he didn't even spawn yet. Body swap, stop being awkward. But I can keep dumping currency into this build, but the power is not gonna... it's gonna improve a little bit, but it's not gonna get to where I want it to be. So I think I'm just gonna do some rapid farming, farm up maybe 2 Maven events, and then switch to my next project, which I think is gonna use almost the exact same gear. Just got a few pieces I gotta get and swap it out. It's gonna take some work, so I gotta 6-link another piece of gear. I've been waiting for Beyond to drop me a bunch of Tainted Fusings. I've had Beyond on the whole time, and it spawns so infrequently in maps. I only got a 10% chance to get Beyond. And I have only gotten 2 Corrupted Fusings this whole time. And the Corrupted Fusings are expensive. That's like a divine worth of currency. But I'm not sure Beyond is a great strat. It's fun, and it's just not frequent enough. So last league I did Breach. So if I were to compare Beyond to Breach, I think Breach has Beyond beat. There wasn't a lot of currency in Breach as well, but Breach is a lot of fun. I think Breach is more fun than Beyond. And Beyond isn't that rewarding with the tainted currencies. Because the tainted fusings are pretty much the only expensive ones. And they are very rare. Like silly rare. The density in these maps are a little low, a little sad, and a little disappointing. I usually run the high density nodes just to get crazy density because it's more fun. And that's why I play this game. It's mostly for the fun. Fun and making weird and stupid builds. I use something like Body Swap and Righteous Fire. I imagine Body Swap and Righteous Fire is pretty common combo together. Because it works so well. And it kind of changes the feel of the build a little bit. And it sounds dumb, but I kind of like the play action of Body Swap. Oh, I'm using Frostblink, not Flame Dash. I thought I was using Flame Dash. But you can Body Swap in. And then Body Swap. Oh, let's see if we can get a pop. Oh, popped one of the bosses. So let's say you're running around, right, and you see this dude, you body swap in, then you frost blink out. It just kind of feels cool to map around that way. And feel of the build when you're doing T16 mapping is the most important aspect. Everything else comes secondary to how a build feels to play. And I've always been a fan of Cyclone Shockwave simply because of how it feels to play that. And, you know, if it doesn't feel good, I don't like it. That's why I'm not a fan of traps or totems. I've done a little bit of both, and I just don't like the way they feel, don't like the way they play. So I'm not a huge traps and totems fan. Let's do one more map. Those maps were kind of fun. Let's do a Drox. Drox is perfect. Make sure he doesn't have anything like increased life. He's got some crit, which could end up killing me, which will be fun. But 96% on that bad boy. Oh, and he's going to be Mavened. But out of all the skills I've used with this Righteous Fire, Body Swap tends to be the best for T16 mapping. But I think the overall best that feels right for me is Incinerate, because you can put in Infused Channeling, which give you more fire resistance, or less fire damage taken, which helps with the Righteous Fire mitigation. But it also gives you a guaranteed Ignite at the end of the wave. And as you saw, I popped on that Essence monster and just ended him. There was a commenter on, I think, Dreamcore's video that was talking about how this pops usually kills enemies that are already about to die. And he's somewhat correct in that, except for all these enemies are almost about to die because most of them aren't very tough. Where the pops actually come into a lot of handies if you can manage to get a pop on one of the League Mechanic bosses. If you get a Fatso or a Beyond, I got Beyond in this map. You get a Fatso or a Beyond boss, and if you can manage to pop on that with this build, you save yourself like 30 seconds. And if you had a skill that says save 30 seconds on each map that you run, everybody's going to select that. Saving 30 seconds on a map is great. Now, if your build is so high damage that those pops are not useful, then yeah, it's a dead node. But Righteous Fire builds, for example, they never really get good single target damage. So any of those bosses, if you pop on them, it's going to be great. And you get big pops like you just saw there. So Beyond is good for experience, though. As you saw, it just spawned a ton of Beyond monsters, and I killed them all. And it definitely helps me level up. I haven't been playing that hard in terms of leveling, and I'm already, I think, 95? Yeah, 95. Oh, Beyond boss. Perfect. Let's try to... Oh, even more perfect. So this is going to be a perfect example of where pops become useful. Let's hope there's no fire immunity in here. Immune to physical. Yeah, I can just pop the big bomb right in the middle. It lets me freaking select it. Pop the big bomb right in the middle, select it, and get these bosses. Come on, boss. Let's go, daddy. Follow mommy's flaming dildo. What the hell am I being hit by? There's one pop. Two pop. So I killed two bosses right there just from the Chieftain pop. Super quick, super easy, super efficient. And no tainted fusings. So yeah, the Chieftain pop node, it's good. It's just good. That's all I can say about it. It's A tier. It is good. It's not Aspect of Carnage. It's not, you know, the... whatever nodes are better. The Fortify node from Champion. It's not S tier. It's not gonna like change the game or rock anyone's world, but it is solid AA. It's like second rank Atlas passive skill. It's definitely, like, if we take a look at the Chieftain, my opinion is gonna be controversial here a little bit. For me, this is the strongest node. It opens up the most amount of build variety, reduces your suffix pressure, and it just combos with this passive so well. Regenerate 1 life per second per each, 1% fire resistance, and then you combo it with this helmet, and the synergy is just so strong that for me, this is Chieftain's top node right here. Second node right here. Third node right here. Fourth node right here. Fifth node right here. Then 6th, 7th, and then 8th. This Flames Advance, I already did a video on it. It's trash. It is pure garbage across the board. Nobody should like it. Nobody should use it. I don't think I opened all my excavated chest. Good thing I ran this extra map. Perfect example of a pop. I like to have Vol Flame Blast because sometimes those excursion big bombs will get real nasty. Even without the immunities, sometimes they'll just get something awkward, like hits always crit and physical damage is chaos, and I don't read because I don't know how. Didn't seem useful to learn how to read, so I just never did it. And when it gets real nasty, you can pop this Vol Firestorm right in the middle of it, and then the Chieftain pops kind of just takes care of the rest. Damn, big boy hit. You see that ignite kick in from the pop? My pop ignited. And he went to invincibility phase, but that fucking ignite took over. He didn't have an invisibility phase, him getting popped on would have instantly killed him. Yeah, this was a good map to demo the pop. Demo pop. Alright, that's enough. That's the build. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Well, let's do this. You ready? This is gonna be the best shield you've ever seen. God damn it. Made me look like a bitch. I'm gonna edit this all out.